last night. We're not quite sure, actually. If anyone can work out the time difference, but maybe it's better not to. We are really happy that Gail has agreed to be our first live streaming guinea pig. Gail is an old friend of the Horn Hangouts. Not only she did one of the most amazing ones we did, but you always pop up on them. It's great. I know, but I know. Exactly. And thanks to the IHS, we had the idea of live streaming as much stuff as we could, because you are the lucky ones. You're here in person. It's always better to be there in person, whether it's a concert, whether it's a horn extravaganza. But for the people that can't be there, and there are a lot of people in the chat already, I don't know, how many of you have taken part in a live horn hangout? Oh, great. Okay. Well, there's still a few that need to be initiated to the wonders of the horn hangout. People are watching all over the world. We've got Scotland, we've got Iowa, we've got Valencia, we've got Vancouver, Iowa. If you guys want to go, when we live stream something, it would be great if you told all your friends to watch it, because then they can join in. We have a live chat, which means people can write into us and ask Gail questions today. So you are going to have 3 students. Three students. So we're going to do the in-room work, and then we're going to take a few questions from online, which is very exciting. So with no further ado, Gail Williams. That was my emotion. Anything, oh, I got to get some air.
first note and the second note in tone quality. Right? It's a little narrower, right? So, right? So blow a little thicker air through. This is what you're doing. Right? I want you to keep the same, but just blow air through. Almost. You're trying to make it too narrow. A little thick. That. Do it again. Efficiency, not tight. Not tight. Right. Thick air. Warm air. A thick stream of water. Whatever you want to think. So you guys got to think that narrow. You're trying to go to. You can think in the E flat harmonic series, what note is that? What part? Good. How about four? Because it's another one. Yeah, we're done. So that's the fourth part. So what's the next one? That's four. Then you're going to jump an octave and you just, all right, so you're going to go fourth speed, eighth speed. Okay? Thank you. All right, let's start. Start from 8 to 4. Getting there, a little bit thicker yet down the bottom. Now one. Come on. That's it. So that's the kind of area you need to think jumping at speed. Okay? Let's start there again. Look at it. Okay, so if you just think ease and speed of air, you're just getting the speed of air, right? What's the speed there? What's the number? Just think of how much faster you can go. Okay? Do it. Great, great, great. What did that feel like?
Felt great. It's all right in there.
Okay, so what do you have to do so you don't run out of air? Or you take more in, and take another breath.
Okay.
You know, we're not all as tall as some people. I had two great mentors when I was in Chicago. Okay? Arnold Jacobs would sit there and look at me. He'd shake his head. He said, no, take another breath. No, you're not 6'2", take a breath. So you might have to try taking another breath and then adapting so you can do it. Try again. That was a much better sound than really getting to let the airflow and just take the waves. But I would suggest this. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let out air 6 feet. Stick with it. started to open up and then you kind of close down, or if you hear a couple breaths that you can just concentrate on. But always think beautiful sound, music, shape, and it can be phrased differently. It's music, it can have a different taste to it, a little bit more time and effort in there as well. But I think that's a much better approach and help. What are your lips feeling? Yeah. So that's a good little here. You can kind of hear that grain. So you have to make sure you're, blowing that mouthpiece off your face. That's a really important trick. Think about blowing your mouthpiece. Yes, you don't use pressure. Everybody uses their own time. It's like a clarinet player. Everybody's got a clarinet player. Oh, dear, it doesn't work. Oh, dear, it doesn't work. Make it work. But it's usually not pressure. You'll use some that you have to use.
Good question. Some questions that Central Bravo, by the way. Thank you. You've got amazing people writing all over the place. They're wide and everywhere. Hawaii, Toronto, Vancouver, Mexico, Hungary. They really like how you push up your glasses. Yeah, and then say, don't glasses, push up. I'm coming close to you because we've only got one microphone, otherwise they can't hear what I'm asking. I'm like, hello. Justin Bush wants to know, what are your tips on improving endurance with Strauss 2?
Play it back. Because you always play that first page. And then sometimes you have to start on the last page and add. So you play the last page and then you add part of the page before that. And then you add more. Until you've gotten through the whole piece and as many times you've gotten. Because we practice the beginning and not the end. Right? So then the next step is play the last page of the second. And add time. But it is efficiency. And it's very, this piece is very reflective. For me, it's a lot like Strauss 1. He is in the same key. It's just expansive. But if you treat it like he's going back to how much he loved his father, and it's just a little bit more filigree, treat it that way. And I think it becomes simple. But I think endurance is, it's a 4-letter word, on top. And you have to do them, but they always don't have to be loud, they can be extremely soft. Just to learn how to keep spinning the air. And it's always there. It's the amount that you take in and you can get rid of and you take in. And I am rather old-fashioned when it comes to certain things, and I think it's really important to do etudes. And I think if you play through 2 or 3 barberto etudes in the classique book, and then you play that, you'll make it through. But if you just work on the first page, you're not going to make it through.
Great answer. Emma Sparkle wants to know, what sort of horn are you playing?
It's a Yamaha Schmidt copy, E63.
Thank you. Leslie likes the fact you called us all brassengers. She likes that. Brassengers, messengers, brassengers. Apparently that's, I don't know, I like that. And over Patrick, F1 Patrick in Toronto wants to know about overcoming performance anxiety. You just said a lot about with the air and everything that. I really always like that tip, but
I think everybody has performance anxiety, and you never know when it's going to hit. It may be in the middle of an orchestra concert, and all of a sudden, where'd that come from? And you have to be able to know what it's going to hit. And the more you get up and perform, the more you get to know what's going to happen. But the most thing you can do is get yourself out of that, I think, and you have to think music and you have to think wind. And the more you can think wind, the music's going to come, because you relax. I think sometimes I was watching you take a breath in, and you really didn't get ready to go with that. And you're tall enough that you probably get stuck. biofeedback. I've done everything. I keep grabbing, you know. I talked to the tennis coach, of course, about things. How do you deal with stress? It's the same. It's athletics and music is the same because we're all performing. So whatever we find works. I think thinking music is the most important. Thank you very much.
They're very brave. Playing at Masterclass is in front of so many people players. I mean, we all know what it's like. That's the advantage. But the disadvantage is that everyone knows what it's like.
But I also think playing for more players is one of the most forgiving because you know what it's like here. And we all are choosing for each other. You're not waiting. It's like when you take an audition, you're not on the committee, you're not going, ha ha ha, or you're going to make a mistake. No, you're rooting for like, come on, entertain me. You know, give it to me, not like the other way around.
Alex wants to know, does Gail suggest the soloists make eye contact with the audience or look above them? Good question.
I think personally, I think it really depends on the person. And there's not one way for everybody. At times you can look, but if you're having a really difficult time focusing and keeping your focus, then keep your eyes down.
What do you do?
I've done both. Sometimes I have had to look away from things because it's disturbing. I've seen people move and all of a sudden I go there instead of there.
No,
So I think, you know, I know Don Green is going to be doing some sessions here, and I worked with him many, many years ago. And when he did some classes at Northwestern, he really didn't like one of the halls because you had to look up. And it's very hard to keep focus if you're looking up, because then you see the whole thing. And if you keep your eyes down, you can focus. You can just like almost go into television. So I have a tendency to.
That's a great question. Someone's called themselves water dumper. Water dumper. I know that some people recommend meditation or exercise to settle one's mind. What do you recommend?
A nice micro.
Yeah, you're really good.
Or something that gets your mind out of what's going on. I do some biofeedback when I can. I usually can do biofeedback when I'm not at my house.
Biofeedback, that's like a new one. Yeah. Tell us.
Not really new.
Tell us, in Europe, that's not, we're just discovering it. Or is that
Well, actually, I read about it in a book called Peak Performance by Charles Garfield. And I think I read it on an Australian tour of the CSO in 1982. And it was basically about athletics and the Olympics. And while I was at Eastern Bloc Nations, you know, it comes down to sports psychology.
You're a very sporty person. I'm really incredible.
I know, Steve.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason for that. Tell us what the reason is for that.
Well, the cool real reason is that I got into this morning art and didn't have a phone with my simple The other reason is I have a horrible blister from my 12-mile hike last Sunday.
12 miles. And then 3 hours practice. So who we got on now? Is Sakura anywhere nearby? Or is Donna runner? Sakura? Sakura. Welcome.
Sit down. So, Sakura, what are you going to play today? Beethoven 7. Always one of my first questions I ask students when they're preparing excerpts is, what is the audition committee listening for? What is your job to show that? So what's your job? What are you going to do with this? Your class? Anybody? You guys in? Yeah. vowel, the two, not the two, right? So more air, less tongue. Now, going on. Now with okay, so you hear the pitch change, right? Yeah, so that's not going to be very good here. Right, excellent. On the horn. Very good. And that is what's going to happen when you get your tongue out of the way. It's like, oh my gosh, I have so much air, I don't know what to do with it. Right? So you just have to back off a little bit, let the air be easy, less tongue. And let the air move. That's great. That's great. It's the same if you're playing that octave. That octave, it's the same. Same air, fast, but you don't need to play with a lot of punch because it's pretty loud and it's energetic. You got a lot of air going. And the more the tongue, the more going to stop. But if you can play, very good. Excellent. And now it's Beethoven. It's not Mahler 5. I had the doctor say, no, it's too loud. Because it's Beethoven. It's colorful, right? There's a little acorn. So you have to make it colorful, but it doesn't have to be like massive. Right? So think about a Beethoven orchestra. Smaller, 2 clarinets, 5 clarinets, 2 horns, smaller string section. So make it colorful, but still exciting. Okay? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. First. Yes. Excellent. gives you a chance to take the correct answer. And you didn't breathe in time. So it's really important to breathe. Okay? Try one more time. 1, 2, 3. It's too stuffy. So really make sure you open it up a little bit. Pacing, the direction of the phrase. A little bit more excitement because you're the person who's asleep. So that's what you want to have a little story with. 1, 2, 3. So you got bum, 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 and you got 1, 2, 3.
And I'm wondering what the two schools have thought. I hear it mixed. I really like it when I hear the Strongs, the third one on the second beat, giving you the launching point to go up and finish the solo. And yet, it seems to be the thing where most horn players, like it's written the same way 3 times. Is there any?
The question for you guys online a question about where to launch from, whether I didn't quite understand it. But about the rhythm and how to get, it says there's 2 schools of thought.
Well, in my thinking, I think the second beat in this music is very important. So in teaching this excerpt, I always have them going and making them go just to the second beat. And many times they squish the first 2 notes, and they're too early. That's one thought, and I think that's sort of what you're saying, because some people go, and they miss the second beat. But if you play, and get to the second beat, and stop there, you realize where the beat is. Is that kind of what you're speaking
Well,
about?
but it's the third time it comes that is definitely on the second beat instead
That's
of
correct.
dot, dot, dot.
So you have,
So, ba, ba, ba.
right, so that's where, the next step would be, and learn, that's where you're going to start from. And then you go from there. And then you have 2 pickups, 2. So you have 3 different sections. And that's kind of what I think is important in the progression of this section, is pretty strict time. I don't think it has to be extremely short, and I think we have a tendency to go, and there's no air there at all, so it doesn't carry in the hall. And I think if you think of a whistle, that's going to be short enough. Use that kind of air, and the tongue will just follow. If you think too much tongue most of the time. Okay, we may need to go to the next person. But thank you very much.
Karen has asked, what are your tips on getting back into shape? I think most of us have come from summer holidays, and the IHS, I think we should have the IHS sometime not in the summer holidays, sometime during the season when we're all fit. What would be your personal tips on getting back into shape after maybe a short break?
I kind of go on how many days have I taken off. And that's going to be a rule of thumb. Say if I take 5 days off, I will be back to where I was in 10 days because I'm not going to get hurt. And I think that's where a lot of people get hurt, is they take days off and they immediately slam themselves back in. And yes, I love athletics, and I've done things over my life, and I've run some marathons, and you would never take a whole bunch of time off and go run a 10K. You would build up to the 10K. You wouldn't try a marathon if you hadn't done a whole bunch of half or the building up to this. So why do we think we can take 10 days off, and these are little muscles, and go slam ourselves through a big piece? I think it's dangerous, and I think that's where a lot of people have gotten hurt. So I always, if I'm taking time off, I use a very special book that Milani Anchis put out. And my teacher made me go through, and I have everybody play this book, and you can get it in different places. And it's Chantal. It's the Chantal Theoretical Scale Study. It's dreamy. I've gone through so many copies, it's not funny. Because they're going through scales and arpeggios, and they're in different seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths, octaves, and they're short. They're not so long. So you can play a little bit and take a little break. So if you've taken 10 days off, you take 10 minutes and play 10 minutes. Come back, play 10 minutes more, and 10 minutes more. The next day, play 15, 15, 15. And pretty soon, you're up to a half hour. And you never will get hurt.
Thank you. Good advice. A lot of people are writing about the biofeedback. What sort of, can you recommend particular advice, or where can people go to get more information about that?
It's been such a long time.
I'll tell them to look it up.
Look at, I think you can just Google it.
That's what
It's
we've
been
got
a
for.
very, very long time since I did it. you see some people all of a sudden, and they can't sit still. You cannot sit still. And I think it's important to learn how to sit still. It's really hard, but I think it's really good for your brain. And I think it's important to everybody to learn how to take time for themselves, whether that's biofeedback or if it's Alexander or whatever it is. They can go walk. You just have to learn how to slow yourself down. I'm an old farmer from New York State, and the grass didn't grow very fast. And you had to wait for another cutting and put more hay in the barn. You learn to be patient, and I think technology has made things so fast. It's great. I think it's fantastic, but I think it's taken us away from nature and time for yourself.
Everyone's going crazy about the Chantal. Chantal?
SCHA.
Yeah, everyone, there's links on here. It's the Bible at Northwestern. Water Dumper has given us the link. Thank you, Water Dumper. Anyway, we've got Natsuki, and then maybe we can take some questions from you guys at the end. That'd be really nice.
thing I'm gonna say is, do more of everything. Okay? More conversation. This is a really important piano too. And I think you can have more conversation with piano. In the beginning, change some of, not just what you're doing, long, really beautiful placement. So more conversation, back and forth. So you have, really? Because this is what I'm going to, but really have some kind of thought process back and forth. Number two, do you think about what a cellist is doing Let it go, right? So let's start there. This will be part 28. Has that intensity. And a quick thought, even, I can say it, it's helped me, it's helped many students. It makes your air go right here instead of back here. So immediately it's going. And you're not, if you hold your body, you can't flutter time. You cannot flutter time if you don't. It doesn't work. And I think it's a great way to get things loosened up. And it makes you it just goes. That's it. So if you can practice that enough, it makes the airflow and you can go on.
Two more from here. Matt asks, what's the best thing to think about when approaching the top top note in the adagio.
It's just, that's not the important note. It's just,
It's funny, you can really hear it, can't you? If someone starts the adagio allegro, you can hear already if they're thinking about the top note.
she's not thinking
No,
about
she
it
wasn't
at
at all.
And that was really beautiful, and I think you have to think it's an air speech. And it's really a rebound from that, ta-da, it's from there, not up there. And that's not the importance of it.
One that's come up a lot, Gina asked, what are your tips on improving initial attacks in the low range? Because this seems to be, for many people, the trickiest part of the adagio. No. I want to hear what you say.
Well, I think what's really fun about playing the horn and teaching and continuing to learn, that's the most important, is continuing to learn. And I kind of came upon something last year. I was like, do this. It's like you're smelling a rose. So everybody go, where's your tongue go? Where's it go? It doesn't go. And I think that's what you think playing low, you think you have to go. Tongue down. And if you think about, and just go. It's just there. It's quite simple. It's very easy to just go home and experiment. And that's what horn playing is. Everybody is different, and it's not, you have to be free and relaxed and just go. And I think that's the most important. It's the air and
I'm getting this from upstairs.